over the course of doing this, I have found that the movies that make you angry actually tell you your core desire. So let's jump into that. Here we go. As basically, I'm just saying whatever comes to my brain. Not going to be edited very well. No, I'm not talking out my butt. Hi, my name is Brian Coley. I am the Chief Creative Officer.
Do you think you're smarter than me, Wheaton? Do you think there's any argument you can make that I won't have an answer for?
I never said I was smarter.
That's the first intelligent thing you said. Now, I want to make this clear. In that classroom, there is a God, and yet I'm him. I'm also a jealous God, so do not try to humiliate me in front of my students. You know, I also checked up on your declared major one, pre-law. What exactly is pre-law? We don't award degrees in that. Don't bother answering. But know this. If you truly feel a need to continue with this charade, I will make it my personal mission to destroy any hope of a law degree in your future. Have a nice day.
Okay, so what you just saw is a scene from the movie God's Not Dead, and it brings up the first thing that you need to do when a movie makes you angry is to find the scene in the movie that makes you the angriest. So I'm going to kind of walk you through how to kind of break down the scene that makes you angry to find your core desire. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to ask the question, who in the scene is the victim? All right? Now, I can tell you that my initial reaction is the audience for this movie. What kind of major is pre-law? You know, I mean, just things that are just so false as far as the writing of the scene. Like, there's so much of it I could just go, well, it's just the dialogue, it's the writing, but it's not the externals you're looking for. Instead, to find your core desire, you have to honestly ask, who's the victim in the scene? And realistically, in the movie, the victim is the Christian character, the student, who is being made to prove that God is not dead, right? And the professor is the victimizer in the scene. He's kind of bullying him and all this kind of stuff in the scene. So I had to just kind of agree with that, even though I hate the movie and I hate what's going on in the scene. But I went with it, all right? So that's the first question. Second question is, ask yourself, what does that character want? Or maybe you might want to ask, what do you want for that character? Well, when I answered that question, when it just kind of flowed out of my mouth, I went, holy crap, all right? So I just answered the question, well, he wants his Christian voice to be heard and legitimate, and he wants it in the classroom. He wants it to be a change agent for the people who are in the classroom, you know, like bringing them life. Like it grieves him that God's dead to them, and so he wants, you know, the students to believe that God's alive, but he ultimately just wants his presentation of his faith or his voice to be legitimate and to be impactful. Well, when I said that out loud, I just went, oh man, because all my life, my whole career has been about blending faith and art in a way that is impactful, right? I've always wanted my voice, my Christian voice, to not be cheesy and not to be cliche and not to be movies with dogs and all this kind of stuff. Like, I really wanted it to be impactful. I have wanted it to be impactful. I still do today. Like, this is a core desire for my voice to actually be legitimate and actually to be something that's impactful. Now, of course, there's, you know, a ditch to that and a bad side of that where, you know, you're just like, I want my voice to be heard, that kind of thing. But ultimately, no matter good or bad, this is still a core desire in me, okay? So that's first example one, where I found a core desire in me in a movie that I hated, which was God's Not Dead, in a scene that I hated even more, okay? So that's God's Not Dead. Now let's move on to Barbie, because I'm sure you're anxious to hear like how Barbie. Now I'm going to give you a little bit more context with Barbie, because I'm going to tell you my story a little bit more with this one and why it was so impactful. So Barbie. All right, so Barbie. For me, I had to come up with answer question number one. What's the scene? So the scene to me was, well, I'm going to blend two scenes, but it's the scene where basically Barbie says, you know, you can't sleep over, Ken. You know, like she friend zones him. He's like not invited to the sleepover, and you kind of know pretty much that, it's not going to be Barbie and Ken, right? Like this is that movie that she's not going to fall in love with him, that kind of thing. Well, I had to ask the second question in the scene, which is who's the victim? Well, that was easy for me. That's Ken. And then, no, that's the first question. Second question is, what does Ken want? Well, to me, I think it was summed up in the way he said somewhere in the movie. He goes, I'm always trying to get Barbie's gaze. And that really rang true to me. The idea that he's trying to get her gaze. And then he sings this song about how he's just Ken, And to me, I felt like his desire was to get Barbie's gaze, to get her to see all the things that he's doing. Like he's doing beach really, really well, all in an attempt to get her gaze is the way I would use the phrase from the movie. Well, again, as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, dadgummit, because my story is that I was like Drama Ken, right? Always the friend to the cheerleader. And the cheerleader was always in a relationship with Wrestler Ken. She would come to me, telling me all the problems with Wrestler Ken. And I could never get her gaze and get her to love me and kind of get invited to the sleepover. Oh, that sounded bad. Because I was just Ken. Where I see love, she sees a friend. But in reality, if I'm really, 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 really honest with myself, it's a core desire that I find running throughout all my life, because I have just always kind of been chasing after the cheerleader, not the female version of that. Like I'm happily married. I found a wonderful wife. Like for me, the best example of this is like being on the stage, like being given a platform. Oftentimes people will go, well, you have such great ideas. You're so smart. You're so intuitive, so insightful, but we're going to put this person on stage. And it's like, always kind of being friend zoned that way. So that is why whenever I'm sitting here watching this movie, subconsciously, what's going on inside of me, as you can imagine, is I'm imagining myself as Ken, like being friend zoned as far as my, subconsciously, like all my life, right? In different manifestations, and how I've been chasing after this cheerleader, and that cheerleader is going, no, can't come over, that kind of thing. For you who are parents or just in life, when your children get angry or when you get angry, usually we're getting angry because somebody's being victimized. And if you ask the question, even then, who's the victim? What do they want? You'll find something connected to a desire in your story, because you desire for them and you want their desire to come to be in a way that is so true for you. Like somewhere in your backstory, either that has been something that's been, denied of you, or something you've been a victim, but ultimately it's kind of ringing subconsciously true to your story. Now, in the third part of this this exploration of movies that make you angry, I'm going to explain and go even deeper into something that when I found this, it just like blew my mind even more. As well as I want to kind of redeem that desire also that I showed you with Barbie. I want to kind of give you an example of how it was kind of redeemed in me. Because oftentimes these core desires are kind of like, oh, it's, like it's not cool that I'm always envying and coveting a platform or wanting the cheerleader. Like I kind of need to get over that. So I'll show you how I kind of redeem that, as well as explain an even deeper level for the movies that make you angry. Whew, that was a lot. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.